Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Victoria and today I'm going to be doing the Newbie Booktube tag. I filmed a video last week, my very first one, which was an October wrap up, but I thought that given that I am a Booktube newbie I would do the tag. Could be a fun way for me to answer a few questions and for you guys to get an idea of the kind of things I read and what will be on this channel and why I'm doing this. So let's jump straight in. I've got my notes in my cat notebook down here. So the first question is, why did you start this channel? So I've been watching YouTube for years now, pretty much from the beginning. I watch a lot of different YouTubers. I watch some of the parenting vlogs. I watch a few sort of fashion and lifestyle vloggers. I watch a few different people, and one thing that I've got into in the last 6 months is watching Booktube. Started following a few different people and really enjoyed it, and it just seems like a really good way to talk about the thing that I enjoy most. It's my biggest hobby, and so I thought I would just give it a go and see what happens, and so far it's really good fun. The second question is, I have to read this, it's quite a long question. What are some fun and unique things that you bring to Booktube? I don't think I am particularly unique. Obviously the unique thing is me and my reading taste. I have quite an eclectic reading taste. I read a lot of different genres. The only thing I don't read is horror, just because I'm too chicken for that. I don't read that much women's fiction, but I am trying to get into that a bit more, and I don't really read sci-fi. It's just not really my thing, but everything else I read quite a mixture of stuff, and hopefully there'll be something in there that you guys will enjoy. Question 3 is, what are you most excited about for this channel? I think just getting to talk about books. I'm a massive book nerd. I love books, and in my real life I don't really have that many people that are that heavily into books and reading. I have a few, but not that many. So I'm really excited to become a bigger part of this community and to get to chat about books. I mean, if I could make it a job, I would do. Question 4 is, why do you love reading? I just love being able to explore different worlds, to see things through other people's eyes. I love the escapism of reading. For me, reading is really essential to my mental health and my mental well-being. It's the thing that I do to kind of switch off at the end of each day. It's just a real central part of me and who I am. So it's quite a big question, really, why I love reading. I just always have, and it's a really important thing to me. Okay, question 5. What book or series got you into reading? So I've always read. I cannot remember a time when I didn't read. And it was a massive part of my childhood. But one of the books that springs to mind, one of my favourite ever books, is The Borrowers by Mary Norton. This is the first one that I can remember really enjoying, and for me it just caught my imagination, the idea of tiny people that sort of lived alongside us. So that really fired my imagination, and actually it started me off writing stories as well. The first stories that I wrote were about the borrowers, and yeah, so for me the first one I remember reading is The Borrowers by Mary Norton. Also the first series that I was massively into, along with everybody else my age, was Harry Potter. My dad used to read to my brother and I. He would read a chapter a night to us for the first, I think, 2 or 3 books, and then by the time the 4th one came out I'd overtaken him and started reading them on my own. So that was the first big series that I just absolutely loved. Question 6. What questions would you ask your favourite video creators? I would ask how they come up with ideas week on week. I've got quite a few ideas for videos, but kind of going beyond that is a little bit intimidating, so I want to know how they come up with their ideas. I'd also love to know what editing software they use. I don't really do edits, as you'll have seen from last week's video. I've only got very basic skills, so I would probably ask about that. And also kind of how they have the confidence to do it all the time and kind of put themselves out there. So yeah, that's what I would like to know. Question 7. What Booktube challenges do you think will be the hardest to overcome? For me, it's going to be fitting it in. is going to be the challenge. I work over 40 hours a week, including my commute time. I've got my stepson, we've got a house to run, we've got the cat to sort out, we've got family stuff. So trying to fit it all in is probably going to be the biggest challenge for me, but that's why I've deliberately set myself the kind of loose target of posting 1 video a week on a Sunday. So we'll see how that goes. Question 8. When did you start to read? I think I've already answered this, but just I can't remember a time I didn't read. I think I learned to read quite early, and I always had quite an advanced reading age as I was growing up. My parents and my grandparents were all like really encouraging with reading, and like my mum reads a lot, and my nan and my grandma read a lot too, so there was always books around, and it was always just my thing. So I used to get a lot of books for Christmas and birthdays, and yeah, it's always been there. Question 9. Where do you read? So my commute, I drive. I used to get the bus when I worked in a different town, and so I would read on that commute. I obviously can't read whilst I'm driving, and at the moment I'm listening to a lot of podcasts rather than audiobooks, because I don't get on massively well with audiobooks, although that is something I want to try a bit more with. So I tend to read in the evenings, generally on the sofa under a blanket with the cat on my lap. And then at weekends as well, try and cram in as much reading as I can, again generally on the sofa. So that's where I read. And then the last question, what kinds of books do you like to read? I kind of answered this in the introduction, but I will read most books. I really seem to gravitate towards thrillers. I like psychological thrillers, preferably with an unreliable narrator. I like dystopian fiction. I like a little bit of YA, although I have grown out of that and I want to do a video on that at some point. But some YA I get on really well with. I read a little bit of non-fiction, but I do need to get more into that. A bit of literary fiction and a little bit of historical as well. Like I said, I don't do horror because I am a chicken. And women's fiction is something I've not read much of, but I am trying to find women's fiction books that I do enjoy. So that was the tag, that was the newbie tag. Hopefully you know me and my reading a little bit better now. I know I'm supposed to tag people, but I don't really know any other newbie booktubers at the moment, so if you are one, then I'm tagging you. And please leave me a comment below with your channel so that I can have a look. I only follow a handful of channels at the moment, and I would really like to follow more, so please let me know if you've got a channel in the comments. Anything that I've mentioned I will link below. I'll also link my friend Kath. I can't remember what her channel's called. I think it's Kath Elizabeth Reads, because she's the one that I saw do this tag, so I've borrowed it from her, so I will tag her below. Next week I'm going to do a bookshelf tour, so hopefully that will be up on Sunday, and then the week after that I'm going to talk about my TBR and how I manage that, because there seems to be a few different ways, but I'm going to talk about what works for me and what I do. Hope you had a really good week, and I will see you next time. Bye!